All right. Hello and welcome, everyone. Thanks for showing up and taking part in another one of our trainings this year. Today, I'm going to be talking about how to take control of your online reputation and drive more sales for your remodeling or home improvement business. Now, we all know how important your online reputation is. Let's see. Slides are not advancing here. There we go. Um, and especially in this digital world of ours, you know, your online reputation is really the digital currency of the online world. So what I want to do is kind of cover a lot of ground today when it comes to your online reputation. As you know, this is part of your overall 2023 internet marketing plan. At the beginning of this year, we went deep in our training on your 2023 internet marketing plan that you've put in place for the year, talking about your website, talking about your market positioning, talking about the big picture, SEO, pay-per-click, social media, email marketing, and then reputation is in there as well. Driving more reviews for your company and having a system in place to do that on a consistent basis is a foundational piece of any digital marketing plan. Overall, what we consider our digital dominance method. These are all the key things that you really need to do to maximize your lead flow via the internet. Real quick, if you don't know who I am, my name is Bob Vance. I'm the founder of Remodeler SEO. I'm also a former home remodeler and custom home developer, having been involved in the Denver real estate market for several years and developing some $1 million plus custom homes here. I'm also author of the book, Internet Marketing for Contractors and Builders, How to Triple Your Sales by Getting Your Internet Marketing Right. It's one of the top-selling books on internet marketing for remodelers, builders, and other home improvement services companies. We're also actively involved with NARI, the National Association of the Remodeling Industry, the National Kitchen and Bath Association, the National Association of Home Builders, and then here in Denver, the Denver Home Builders Association and the Colorado Home Builders Association. I'm an admitted computer geek, and I think I'm widely accepted as one of the top experts in online marketing for remodelers, builders, and home improvement services companies. What I say is more important than any of all that stuff is that I've worked hands-on with tons of remodeling companies, builders, and home improvement companies of all types across the country. I've taken many of them from virtually no presence online, no lead flow on the internet, to now where they are dominant players in their market, ranking number one for lots of different keywords, generating dozens or even hundreds of leads via the internet every single month. I'm honored to say that we've seen a lot of our clients, our partners, a lot of the people that I've worked with hands-on go from brand new businesses with little to no income to where they're at now, millions of dollars in annual revenue growth, and really growing their companies as a function of getting their internet marketing dialed in. And what I wanted to say to you is not based on theory. It's not based on a blog that I read on some SEO journal or something like that. It's based on implementing these ideas and strategies in remodeling, construction, and home improvement services companies, just like yours, with proven results. Now, I will say this is what we do. My company, Home Remodeler SEO, this is what we do all day, every day, day in and day out. We eat, sleep, and drink nothing but getting results for remodeling companies, builders, and home improvement services companies online. I've got a team of people that do content, that do SEO, people that do link building, people that do citation development, others that run our pay-per-click campaign, others that handle social media campaigns for us. We're really on a mission to help triple the sales of 500 remodeling and home improvement services companies over the next 5 years. So if you'd like to talk to us about how we implement all of these different ideas and strategies for you, how we can help set your website up and do your SEO and run your online marketing strategies, we'd love the opportunity to talk with you. Just to post a comment in chat if you want, and we'll get you scheduled to take a look at what you've got going on now. That's my only sales pitch for the entire presentation. The rest of this is going to be strictly information based. and talking about how we can improve your online reputation. So here's what we're going to cover on today's session. First, we're going to talk about why you can have all the best tools in the world for generating online reviews, but still fail and fall flat on consistently driving more reviews, and also how to tap into the power of multi-channel communication, email, SMS, text, even physical interactions like face-to-face interactions to increase that review count of yours. We also have to understand that online reviews are not just the responsibility of one person. This is really a team sport for your entire company. And for you to succeed, you will need your entire team to drive a lot of great reviews for your company. And so we want to talk about why you must acknowledge and respond to all reviews, good, bad, and indifferent. This is an important aspect that we definitely don't want to overlook. So we'll go a little bit more in depth on that detail as well. I'm going to call your attention now. You're here. I know things can be a little hectic. I know some of you guys in certain areas of the country are just maxed out and don't really have a lot of free time. So it's easy to get distracted in trainings like this with so much going on, or maybe you're just tired of Zoom meetings. What I'm going to ask, though, is if you're here, give us your undivided attention. Turn off your cell phone, shut down Facebook. If you're like me, I usually have dozens of different tabs open on multiple computer screens that I use for my office setup. But if you're serious about really maximizing your results online, maximizing your rankings, let's give this next 60 minutes or so our undivided attention and get out of this everything that we can. So let's talk about first, why is it important to take control of your online reputation? Your online reputation, it can be a challenging thing. I will tell you personally that this will have the biggest impact, not only on the amount of leads that you'll generate online for your company, but also on the conversion rates for your salespeople. There are so many reasons that online reviews are really, really important. All your reviews and your online reputation can really make or break your company. It's very simple to understand that we all go to Google to search for companies whose services we need before you even get to your customer's house in order to show up for that sales consultation appointment. People are already Googling your company. They're looking up your reputation. They're going to look at you on Google, on Facebook, maybe on Yelp or other review sites. They're doing this on an ongoing basis and through all the stages and phases that customer goes through on that customer journey with you. Now, this is really part of that overall customer journey that we talk quite a bit about. From the first time a customer starts thinking about you, from where they're looking you up online, when they're placing a call to you, this is really what we call the customer journey. It's every step that the customer takes before they actually start working with your company, and your reputation is a part of that. It's what lets them know what to expect when they actually continue through that customer journey and actually start working with your company. So if your online reputation doesn't reflect the top quality service that you provide, that's going to be a problem. That's a problem with everything that you're doing when you're trying to build your brand, grow your revenue. Even people get your name as a referral. If they see a yard sign with your company's name on it, whatever the case may be, those people are still going to look you up online. Even if it's a referral from their family member, from their neighbor, they're still looking you up online. Make no mistake about that. So your online reputation is extremely important. One of the challenges that we hear from remodelers and contractors is, hey, we've invested in all these great tools out there for hoping to improve our online reputation. We have these review tools from online software platforms like Bird Eye or Nearby Now or so many of the other ones out there. There are tons of them. And so these people are saying, we're investing all this money into these platforms, but we're not really getting enough results. So, it turns out to be really a big challenge for you, right? Getting reviews from people is a big challenge. And so a lot of times we wonder what we're doing wrong, or hope that there's some magic pill and technology that will result in all these tools providing an opportunity to assist you in generating reviews, and just kind of, magically you're going to have hundreds of reviews. And although some of these tools do help, there's no tool by itself that will become the answer to all of your problems. So just to get a show of hands, I want to keep everything interactive here, make sure that people are participating, getting the most out of this. We got a lot of folks on the workshop today. Put a 1 in the chat if you've invested in some kind of a reputation management tool for your business. Just put a simple number 1 in chat. Let me know if you've invested in some kind of a tool to help you generate more reviews online. So Patrick's got a 1 in there. Shane says, yep. Stephen, another 1. He's investing in tools as well. Colleen, Bradley. Yep. So technology is good to have, right? It's another great tool to have in your proverbial digital marketing toolbox. Everyone's tried these tools, but again, it's not the only answer. So failure in getting enough reviews, it can really be a drag on all of your marketing efforts. If you don't get enough reviews, or you don't get good reviews, understand that the person who is not happy with your services is much more likely to leave you that negative review versus the person who's happy with your services. There are people out there that are really intent upon making sure to leave negative reviews on any chance they get. And it doesn't matter if you sent them a request or not. If that's the kind of person they are, they're going to leave a negative review. In my opinion, these are just people that are not happy in life, and there's really not a whole lot you can do about that. But you don't, unfortunately, we really don't get that same energy and that same perseverance with most people when it comes to leaving positive reviews. It's like pulling teeth sometimes to get reviews from those people that want to leave good reviews, right? So I want to make sure that if you're failing at establishing a great online reputation, truly becoming a highly reputable company, it will drag down all of your marketing. It drags down your sales team as well. It drags down the conversion rates of everything that you do and all of the estimates that you bid on, because again, what are people doing? They're looking at your reviews no matter what and no matter where they found you. But there's opportunity here as well. The opportunity is to become the provider of choice in your service area by standing out from the competition and doing that in a way that maximizes those conversion rates on your bids, that maximizes all the marketing dollars that you're investing, and it really maximizes your overall return on investment, which is the most important metric that you should be looking at on a weekly, monthly, annual basis. So what we want to do, we want to leverage the tools that you have to the fullest to drive online reviews on a consistent basis being the key words here. It will make it easier to ask. It will drive consistency in the ask for that review, in other words. And you can set these tools up to integrate with your CRM in many cases. And that automation then becomes part of your system for getting more reviews and getting more reviews on a consistent basis. And when you have that kind of automation that will send texts for you, send emails for you, it could be a real powerful thing to make sure that the ask is being done right, because that's the first point of failure, the ask. If you don't ask for positive feedback from your customers, you're definitely not going to get any positive feedback. You're not going to be seeing more reviews online, and you're certainly not going to see that on a consistent basis. And so when you're asking for that positive feedback, these tools make it that much easier for you to accomplish that and help you set out to achieve that review count goal that you're really looking for. So you need to have your reputation speak for itself, basically, when it comes to online. People buy from people who they know, like, and trust. That's a truism in marketing that we repeat over and over. So we're trained these days to go to Google or Facebook or wherever it is and look at reviews. If you're like me, whenever I go buy something or find a service that I need online, I always read several reviews, as many as I possibly can. And so as a company that's advertising online like you guys are, you have an opportunity to make an instant impression with potential buyers. But the key is you have to have your reputation speak for itself online before you get the opportunity to actually speak for your company. This is especially true if you want to be the go-to remodeler or contractor in your area. Worth mentioning also is getting a lot of reviews and having a good online reputation will help you with search engine rankings as well, and ultimately in your ability to convert and drive more revenue for your company. So at this point, I just want to stop real quick here. How many people think online reviews matter now? After everything I've kind of said about how it can really drive more online visibility for you, more rankings, drive more phone calls, what I really want to see is, do online reviews really matter online? So again, throw a comment in chat, throw another one in if you want. Yeah, Patrick, again, yes, online reviews matter. Sophia, yes. Jordan, lots of ones, absolutely. Reviews matter. Ken, yep. Philip, yep, of course. Sandra, yeah, absolutely. Reviews matter. Not many people are going to say, if anyone, I don't think, are going to say, no, reviews don't matter, that, nah, you can just ignore those. No one's saying that, right? That's never really going to happen. Like I said earlier, reviews are really the digital currency of our online world. And when I mean currency, that also translates into, yes, reviews will translate into more revenue for you. So that's how important they really can be. Many studies have been done on this. Some of the statistics that have been gathered, some of these marketing studies that have been done on this really center around the amount of trust that people put into reviews. 84% of people trust an online review as much as they trust a personal recommendation from a friend or family member. I mean, think about the power of that. That's huge. Reviews have that much influence from strangers even, because it's all we have to go off of in the online world, which for me, I think is on point. And I personally trust reviews quite often. That's exactly what I trust. But there are also a lot of fake reviews out there too. How many of you have competitors in your market and you're pretty sure that they have a bunch of fake reviews? Again, just comment here. I want to make sure we keep this interactive, make sure we make this a workshop where we're really all working together, trying to get as much as we can out of it. Anyone out there seeing what they think are fake reviews for their competitors? If you go and look at some of these fake reviews, you kind of say, wow, this person never leaves any other reviews anywhere else, or they're leaving reviews all over the country maybe. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Pete, Katie, yep, exactly. So they're out there. This happens a lot. Some more so in typically like the roofing industry, HVAC, plumbing, those kind of industries. Not so much in remodeling, but they definitely do happen. Yeah, and Patrick says, not sure how they happen, but they're out there. Everyone's got Google accounts, and sometimes these get taken down. A lot of times they do. Unfortunately, a lot of times good reviews get taken down. I just went out of country on a trip, and I posted some reviews for places I went to, and they didn't post a review, sent me a Google email and said, this review violates our terms of service, as if I actually wasn't in that country and eating at that restaurant. So it's just a fact that sometimes reviews do get deleted, and then sometimes fake reviews actually skate through. Not really sure how that happens. It's Google, it's an algorithm. People aren't making this decision. A computer's making these decisions most of the time. So it can be frustrating, but you just got to kind of roll with it and then figure out how you can do the best for your company. But so, the bottom line is it's amazing that 84% of people trust an online review, knowing all this, just as much as they do a personal recommendation. I mean, to me, it blows me away, but I do it too. So it's really all we have to go off of. Another thing that they found in these studies is that 77% of consumers think that reviews more than 3 months old are really not that relevant. Again, this is how I search when I go to Google reviews. There's a little button you can toggle there for most relevant, most popular reviews. I picked the drop-down button that says most recent or newest. I want to know the newest reviews, what they're saying, because I'm not really looking at reviews that are 3 years old. I want to know what the most recent experiences that people have had are. So if it's not just having a lot of reviews, for me, it's also about consistency from month to month, something that Google also pays attention to. So I'm sure, if you've seen that competitor that in your market or another market where they went from 0 to 50 reviews in just a month or two, but then they stopped buying fake reviews, all of a sudden now they got no reviews. So these are trends that you can look for. Google looks for those as well. I see that a couple of people on our call, I know you guys, I know you roofers. Roofing is a big industry for fake reviews, as I said. So you've got these, competitors out there, and it shows that these competitors can be unscrupulous. There's a lot of great roofing companies. We've got some really great partners that we work with doing absolutely fantastic work. But maybe, in roofing, they just feel that they're really not the best roofer in the area, or they just can't compete. Who knows, why they cheat. If they think it's because they're not a good roofer, a good contractor, maybe they're just stuck in their business and trying to get unstuck and trying to get a kickstart, whatever it is. The point is they would have to continue doing this on an ongoing basis, on and on and on forever, posting fake reviews. And so really it's just so much easier for those of you on the call and contractors across the country. Just do a good job. Start by setting realistic expectations. Everything that you do with every team member, every interaction you have with your customer, do a great job with your customer service. Really showcase your expert craftsmanship and the great job you're doing on your workmanship, and really provide that 5-star customer experience. You keep doing this on an ongoing basis all throughout the relationship with everyone that's interacting with the customer on that project of theirs. You do that, and trust me, you're not going to have any problem growing your a strong following and really growing the amount of positive feedback you're getting, positive reviews. So by growing your review count and thus your reputation, you'll take people's trust in your company to a whole new level, because that's part of this, right? It's creating trust for your customers as well as creating trust online in Google's eyes. So yes, the bottom line, Google reviews is mission critical, reviews in general, but especially on Google, since that's where over 90% of people will be finding you. Simply put, reviews impact your Google ranking. If you were on our previous SEO training where we talked about EAT, the EAT strategy, which stands for expertise, authority, and trust, then you will remember that this is Google's entire focus these days, ranking companies the highest in their search results based on that EAT philosophy. Google bases that on the company's expertise in their market and in their areas of service, making sure that company has established itself as the authority in their market, and finally assuring users of the Google platform that they can trust the companies that Google ranks higher versus companies that have not established their brand or their trust online. Remember, Google is they have customers too, everyone that uses that search platform. So they are trying to deliver up the best results based on the inputs that they're getting. Those inputs are expertise, authority, and trust. And then next is a couple other stats. This is kind of how Google's algorithm works nowadays, but it really makes sense is, and I've said this before, so it should be obvious, but Google, people use Google because they trust Google. I trusted them to deliver my best results for exactly what I'm looking for. So establishing that expertise, authority, and trust is a good thing all around, for everyone, for your company to do that, for the customers to be able to take an inside peek into that before they even make that phone call. And the fact is that this will help you, and the rankings improvements certainly doesn't hurt either. But also remember, you're getting reviews is not the only thing that you need to be doing. It's certainly going to help, but if that's all you can count on why other competitors build expertise and authority for their brand through SEO and social media, et cetera, and you're not doing that because you're only counting on reviews, they're going to win out in the end every time, because they're going to win with that kind of all-in plan. They're thinking about everything they need to be doing and not just thinking about reviews, because there's so much more that goes into Google's algorithm. So next, 88% of consumers will look at online reviews before they make that purchasing decision. Recall that I mentioned earlier that even if people get your company's name as a referral, or maybe they found you on social media or saw an ad of yours, no matter what that customer journey was that brought them to you, they're still going to research you online and look at your reviews. That's just a given. That's going to happen. Just count on that. And out of all those people, most of them will already have made their decision to work with you based on all the great things that they've just read, as well as seeing lots of great pictures with your expert craftsmanship, things like that, whether that's on your website or whether you're asking customers to actually upload pictures to your Google listing when they're leaving that positive feedback for you. That's a nice little nifty trick there too. Your conversion rates will also see an uptake based on your online reputation. When it comes to adding value to your company, nothing does that like positive reviews do. We all agree on that. And so when a customer has 2 or 3 bids and they're deciding between your company and your competitors, if you're all in the same ballpark in terms of, say, price, quality, craftsmanship, things like that, it's likely to come down to who they feel the best about and who seems to shine their light a little brighter online when it comes to those online reviews. Quality matters, and thus reviews matter as well. So why is controlling and managing your company's online reputation critical to the success of your business? I'd love to see some input here from you all. Any thought that you guys might have on why managing reputation is critical? Again, keeping this interactive, making sure you guys got your thinking caps on. While I'm waiting for some responses, to roll in here, I just want to point out that having a perfect 5.0 star reputation, it doesn't have to be the ultimate goal. Getting a 4.9, 4.8, even a 4.0 or 4.5 star reputation still gives you a chance to showcase your brand. Most people know that you can't win them all. Not everyone will be over the moon delighted with your services or the customer experience. It could just be that person too, their personality. We talked about that. We know who those people are. I've seen some great reviews that go into detail about all that a customer loves, and not mention anything bad at all, but then they leave a 4-star review instead of a 5-star. And I'm thinking to myself, really? That doesn't make sense at all. But that's just some people for you, I guess. Like, there's always room for improvement. It's like you love your job that just got done for you. You love the project. Everything turned out nice. There's no more room for improvement. The job's done. Give the 5-star review. It's kind of my opinion. That's what I try to do. But one thing that we helped a client go through last year down in Georgia is the sale of her business. She was retiring, selling her business, and we helped out and advised in any way that we could. But one thing that jumped out to me was that our client saying that the sale was made so much easier because of the online reputation that we had helped her to develop. It really impressed the new soon-to-be owner, as they were coming from a business background, but kind of jumping into some new water here. And they knew the importance of online reputation, though, and especially in such a review-centric world as remodeling and home services. So this new owner, they're all set up. They got to start with a 5-star reputation. It was just kind of gifted to them. So now it's easier for them to keep that going. So looking at chat, Sandra chimed in and said, yeah, any review is better than no review. In my opinion, yeah, exactly. Google rewards all reviews. So even though you're not striving for a 3 or 4-star review, I know you don't want that. At least you're showing consistency and getting people sharing more about your company. And that's something that Google's going to take notice of. Sandra says it's hard enough to get to review, but I would not dare to ask them to post on multiple sites. I have over 40 5-star reviews on House. Good for you, Sandra. And just one review on Yelp, not accredited with BBB. They're encouraging reviews. Do I stop asking for House reviews and ask them to place where? So any review is good anywhere you get it. But one thing that you can do is reach out to all those happy, satisfied customers on Houzz and see if they would leave positive feedback for you on Google or on another platform. There's some really strict rules, best practices. You're not supposed to be asking for reviews. You're not supposed to be incentivizing them with gift cards, things like that. Companies do that. Companies will always do that. But there's, asking for positive feedback is one way to ask for just feedback on your company. And certainly in this case, it's going to be positive. So that's what ends up turning into a great review for you. People can leave reviews on multiple platforms. They don't have to just be on the platform that they did business with you on. Houzz, the way that Houzz does that is after a job is completed, Houzz sends automated emails out to those customers. So that's how a lot of those reviews end up on the Houzz platform. So if Houzz is doing it and Houzz is okay with it, it's the same process that you would use for getting more positive feedback, similar to that on Houzz, getting that on Google as well. Patrick says current reviews are critical for winning jobs against the competition. Absolutely. Even the negative reviews let you kind of tell your part of the story and why there was a negative review there. I do that a lot. I read those negative reviews and I read the responses and I think, was this customer just having a bad day, or was this contractor really doing a crappy job of craftsmanship, customer service, communications, whatever it may be. So people will read in between the lines. So even those bad reviews, the responses will really help. And we'll talk about leaving more responses later as well. Nathan also said, getting as many reviews as possible is definitely what you want to be doing. Yeah, absolutely. So let's go ahead and jump into the 5 key principles of getting more and better reviews. The first principle may be the most obvious, which is to provide a world-class customer experience. One of the biggest takeaways here is that there's a difference between customer service and a customer experience. It's one thing to always have answers to your customers' questions. You're always readily available, kind of like a customer service agent. But it's a whole other thing to be able to walk them through your process, through your strategies. It's that communication that's so important. It also helps set expectations for the relationship and the timeline involved. Really, most importantly, is showing them you understand the customer journey that your customers are actually going through every step of the way. A great example of setting expectations and staying in constant communication is when a customer has to call you for an update. At that point, you're late. You've missed the opportunity to avert this, and better yet, to wow them with your proactive communications, reaching out before them. Now you're on the defensive. Now, this doesn't mean that this is a terrible predicament, but again, it's about a world-class experience, not just being average. So this is where a good CRM comes in handy. You can set up automated communications, emails, text, appointment reminders, progress reports, really any and everything that has you reaching out at consistent intervals to show you're engaged in your customer experience and that you're there for them every step of the way. I know with the remodelers and some custom home builders that I've seen on this training today, you guys have a pretty detailed timeline for all the different trades to come in and do their part. I've been there. I know what that timeline looks like, and I know it doesn't always work out on that timeline. And so, as we know, those timelines will probably change, and more than once, I'm sure. So ask yourself, how good of a job are you doing in keeping customers appraised on everything going on as new schedules develop based on the supply chain, based on manufacturing delays, on and on the reasons go for different delays. So all of this, though, ultimately contributes to how happy a customer will be at the end of the project that you've worked so hard on and so long on for them. So what that ultimately means for you is just another 5-star review for your company if you're really focused on good communications and that world-class customer experience. The second key principle is to build a culture of reputation within your company. In order for you to get a lot of reviews and to do that on a consistent basis, it takes buy-in from everyone on your team, from the person handling those incoming phone calls to your project managers, to your tradesmen that may have contact with your customers. Everyone involved needs to be thinking about how their performance and communications contribute to that 5-star experience. If your team doesn't believe in the importance of reputation, of getting great reviews on a consistent basis, then you're going to have some trouble building that 5-star reputation. Make sure you're talking about your reputation in your weekly company meetings. Make sure it starts with that first call with a customer, and then adapt that mindset throughout the entire project. And the third key principle is to keep in mind and measuring your efforts in regards to building your reputation, and inspect that process, and then celebrate those achievements that your team accomplishes, just to see where everyone is at on this process. But just real quick, put a 1 in chat if you measure your review process. Are you measuring how many reviews you're getting on a weekly or monthly basis? Who on your team might have been mentioned in the review? What aspect of your process is contributing the most to your success? So I see a couple 1s rolling in. I want to see some more 1s rolling in. Who's actually measuring this process, keeping an eye on it, seeing how many reviews you're getting, what different people are being mentioned in reviews to heap some praise on them. And hopefully everyone's replying to reviews. We're going to talk a little bit about that as well. Not as many 1s as I'd like to see here. So maybe that's something to start thinking about now, folks, is making sure that you're really keeping an eye on reviews. You're not just focused on reviews, but you're focused on, how are you asking for feedback from your customers? And, are you a company owner that maybe your ego just says, I'm not going to ask for that. They'll leave a review if they want. They'll leave me feedback if they want to. And I get where you're coming from, but that just doesn't work in this day and age. You really need to ask if you want to get something. What they always say, you don't get what you don't ask for. You can't just sit back and count on people to leave reviews. Not a lot of people really even think about it, but you ask them, they're like, oh my God, I'd love to leave positive feedback on the whole experience I had and so in your team or whatever. They just don't think about it. Life gets busy, the kids and sports and everything that's going on. So it doesn't hurt to say, hey, I would love to hear some positive feedback from you on the project and how you think it all turned out. If you're not thinking about this process and what works and what doesn't work, it's not going to improve. What you focus on, what you put energy into will grow. The fourth thing is something we mentioned at the beginning of this training, and that is to leverage the tools that are out there for helping you build a great reputation. That is, the different software platforms that you can use. The technology is there, so why not use it? A great thing is that technology really makes this easier for you instead of making it harder. By being able to reach some people via email, others via automated SMS text, maybe touching them on social media. And nowadays, there's even apps that can help you interact with customers there. It all becomes part of a natural process of communication engagement. It shouldn't be looked upon as a chore for you. But remember, the tool itself does not get the positive feedback for you. It's simply one of the many tools in your toolbox to make it easier. Just kind of reading chat here. The fifth key principle to keep in mind is to make sure you're always responding to each and every review that you get, good or bad. I know, especially the bad reviews, no one likes them, of course. Hopefully you're not getting any of those, but you have to respond. So in all seriousness, it's really important to respond to the reviews that you're getting from your customers. It's important that you acknowledge your gratitude to your customers for taking time to leave that positive feedback for your company. It shows you really care and that your world-class experience continues with that reply of yours. We provide this with our customers, a CRM that allows them to create this level of engagement and to follow up with multiple different touches in order to gather more online feedback for your company from your customers. Again, I want to point out too that it's also very important to reach out to customers that leave you a bad review. You should obviously be in touch with them and following up personally to find out what went wrong. But you want to make sure that you respond to the review on whichever platform that review was left on. Again, it shows that you care about the customer and the concerns that they have, and that you're working on trying to find a balanced resolution that you'll both be happy with. When responding with reviews online, it also shows other potential customers that you stay engaged and you don't just walk away from your obligations, that you really do care about your customer, and all activity shows Google as well that you're a responsible business owner, that you treat your customers with respect, and Google's going to take notice of that activity as well. Google notices when you respond to a review. That is a positive ranking signal. So make sure you're doing that as well. And just, respond briefly and tell them that you'll meet them offline to really go a little deeper into that. So everything we talked about so far, which principles are you going to focus on the most? Those 5 principles. Drop a 1, 2, 3, or 4 in chat based on what principle really jumped out at you, which one you really want to focus on going forward the most. Remember that what you focus on will get better. It will grow that process. So just speak to me in chat. Let me know what you're going to be working on. Will that be more focused on creating that world-class experience or asking for more reviews because now it's baked in your company culture? Or maybe it's simply measuring and evaluating reviews more often. Maybe it's leveraging tools more, letting automation give you a helping hand here. Patrick mentioned not getting enough reviews to really make a difference. And I'm not sure why that is, Patrick. Keep asking. One of the things about trying to generate more positive feedback from your customers is asking more than once. And this is where automation comes into play, where you send an automated email, then you follow up the next time with a text, and maybe the next time with a call. Hey, just wanted to remind you, see if everything was good. You said you'd leave us some positive feedback, so on and so on. And then coming around again with an email and a text. Like, you don't just get to ask once and magically everyone just, rushes to the internet to review you. It takes multiple asks, just like in sales, they always say it takes 7 to 12 touches before you actually make a sale. It's the same thing with reviews. It takes multiple asks. So just make sure that you really are asking multiple times for that feedback. And because if people have really had a great experience with you, they want to share their feedback with others and help others so that others don't make the wrong choice and choose that company with all those fake reviews. They choose you instead because you do offer that world-class experience. One of the things you can do too is this is how we help partners that we work with is using review cards, maybe like postcards that you can send out with a QR code on them, or little business cards that you can hand out at the end of a project that has a QR code on it and says, hey, if you'd like to leave us some positive feedback, scan this QR code here. Makes it super easy for them. That QR code opens right on their phone. Boom, right there. Is the platform that they can leave some positive feedback for you on. So that also helps a lot. Yeah, great job, Sandra. Exactly. Always, making sure that last visit where you bring them that final kind of closing visit gift to say thank you. Really appreciate working with you. Here's a link, here's a review card, like I just talked about, whatever, maybe, where they can leave that positive feedback. So those are all things that really help and really will build that consistency that you're looking for. So just one more thing I want to say here is to recognize these opportunities. And what I mean by that is if you're talking with a client and they're just heaping praise on the great job that you and your team have done, that is the opportunity for the ask with them gushing all over you with satisfaction. that's the time to say, hey, I'm really thankful for your kind words. Would you mind going online and leaving that same positive feedback and praise on Google? Now, people aren't trained to leave reviews like you would want them to, like I just said, to Patrick earlier. So give them a helping hand. Ask them for their feedback. Most, if not all, customers would be happy to help you out and to spread the good word if you'll only ask them. And of course, follow up with that review response and even send them a thank you card as well if you really want to show your appreciation to them. So based on everything we've been talking about, it's really important that you have an actual strategy for driving more reviews. All these things I've been talking about, these are the tools that you need to have in your digital marketing toolbox. There really are a ton of ways that you can leverage this technology with all the tools out there. Also make sure that you're training your salespeople and your project managers to make this a part of their process. Print out those review postcards to mail out, or hand out the smaller review business cards with a QR code on it to get them straight to Google or Facebook, wherever you want them to leave that positive feedback. Plant that seed early on too. Let customers know that you'll be asking for their feedback once the project is complete. Remember, you can't get what you don't ask for. And then after the job is over, you can walk them through the process of leaving positive feedback for you if they're not familiar with that process. A lot of people aren't. Some of the older generation, they're just kind of learning and catching up to this whole review thing, this whole social media world, and what are QR codes, that kind of thing. So make sure you show them, how to do things, where they need to go, what they need to click on. Be there to help them, in other words. Remember, it's your job to make it easier for them to leave you that positive online feedback. And don't forget, all of this involves making this a part of your process. In other words, building this into your company culture. Everyone on your team knows their part. Everyone knows there are opportunities along the way to wow the customer, to plant that little seed for getting positive feedback from the customer later on. A nifty strategy too is asking the customer early on that if you do a great job with their project, and only if you do a great job, would they be willing to leave some positive online feedback for your company? And of course, they're going to say yes. And now that they've promised you that, they will do this, because who's going to say no? Now it's simply up to you and your team to wow them with a great experience and let them follow through on that promise. And then we've also talked about how automation can make this easier for you and your customer. Use tools and automation for maximum impact. Now, you've probably heard some of these tools for helping with review automation nearby now: Review Buzz, Customer Lobby, Bird Eye. There are many, many others out there as well. We developed our own tool for that we've built into our own software platform. So we don't use any of these tools. We just use our own CRM for follow-up. But whichever platform you choose, just make sure that you're actually taking advantage of automation and leveraging it to your best advantage. You're not trying to think, or making post notes. Call this person this day, email this person this day, send a text to this person this day. Let automation do that for you. We're in the 2000s now. Lots of tools out there for this. Make sure you're following up too. This is where having a system in place is so crucial. It has to be a system and a process to follow, not some willy-nilly thing that you do if you think about it randomly or you're on your lunch break. Like I said, you can't just ask once for customer feedback and expect magical things to happen. People are busy. There's so much for homeowners to be worried about: work stuff, kids' activities, school, sports, on it goes. So don't take unanswered feedback requests as a definitive no. Again, this is just where automation comes into play, and it also helps you feel less bothersome, since you're not the one doing this every day and feeling like you're really intruding upon their day. You let automation take over and you don't even think about this. Now all you need to do is respond to that positive feedback, take them out of your automation. Also, make sure to task someone on your team with responding online to reviews that you get. Make sure to thank them for the review, the positive feedback that they've given you. And if they're up for it, you might even be able to ask them to leave feedback, on a different platform, like we talked earlier, going from Houzz to Google maybe. That might be a stretch. You don't want to ask people to leave reviews all over the internet, because that's kind of really not realistic. Most people use one platform. the most. And for me, that's Google, of course. I'm an SEO after all. I'm on Google all day, every day. So that's just where I tend to leave positive feedback for the companies I've had a great experience with. But everyone's different. Maybe it's Facebook, maybe it's other platforms out there. But when that opportunity comes up, you're going to know, what the customer, where they're at, and kind of help guide them. Like we talked about before, formulate a strategy for addressing those negative reviews in a professional manner. Remember, with reviews, this is an open online forum, really, that you're responding on. And so when you respond online to a review, make sure it's short and professional. This is not that place to really dispute a customer's claims or have an online argument about who is right. If you want to do that later on, if you've got a customer that's just flat out lying or something like that, then you might want to make that known so that people realize, hey, this maybe really didn't happen. This guy didn't really rip me off, or whatever that may be. But in general, short, professional responses online, and then take the follow-up process offline. Call that customer, especially if it's a dissatisfied customer, and try to work things out there with them. And then make sure there's someone in your office that's tasked with responding to negative reviews, at least notifying you as a business owner, so that you can get ahead of that situation and address it immediately. Make sure the follow-ups and responses that you leave are personal, act with sincerity. This is a screenshot of Google here, just kind of a random screenshot, but every platform will have a way to respond to reviews, a button that you can click. And you can even edit those responses as needed as that process plays out. And just like you can edit responses, your customer can too. If you resolve that offline with them and really make them happier, that 1-star review might get turned into a 3 or a 4-star, or if you're lucky, a 5-star. So there are benefits to this, not only just making sure that you've done everything you can to make for a happy customer, but it also might have a positive benefit in changing that rating online as well. How to respond to every review, as I said before, make it personal. And it just means not using some simple templated response that you have saved that you just copy and paste every time. Don't just put thank you, exclamation mark, actually use that person's name, say something personal to them. What you want to do is act like that customer just thank you in person. So now how would you respond to that? You wouldn't respond with a templated answer, that's for sure. So be sincere, be genuine. As we said before, now is not the time to argue through any situations. If you've gotten a negative review, what you're trying to do is merely offer sincere apology, let the customer know that you're aware of a situation needs to be addressed, and then follow up in a more personal manner with that customer offline. Your goal here is to show customers you care and that you're willing to try and find some common ground on a resolution in some of those other situations. And so here are some creative ways to ask for a review. Be personable. I mentioned this already, but it's worth bringing up again. Being personal and being sincere, and then be aware of the platforms that they use. If you have a customer that came in through Facebook, they came in through maybe a Facebook ad or something, then ask for that positive feedback on Facebook. Obviously, they're a user, and that's going to be more comfortable for them. Maybe they don't even have a Google account. And then also, we talked about this for your team, but make sure you're asking every stage of the process. And then next, look for those moments of peak customer happiness, those moments where they're heaping praise on you. That makes for a great time to ask for some positive feedback. And then last, you can create some sort of an employee reward system, maybe some sort of a reward system where each person on your team that gets mentioned in any of your reviews, maybe you give that employee a gift card because it shows that they're doing just an outstanding job as an employee for your company. They're not doing anything to ask for reviews in particular. They've just done such a great job to make that a wow customer experience. So maybe you give them a gift card. Maybe for the remodelers, builders on here, maybe you give them a new tool to add to their collection, something like that. There are tons of possibilities here. Your imagination is the only limit on what really works best for your employees and the personalities that you know and are well aware of. And then maybe if you're a bigger company, maybe an employee can earn lunch with the owner, a time for that employee to really learn more and eventually make the company better in the process from what they're learning from the owner. Everyone wins in that situation, right? So, maybe you can gift that employee a Friday off, or they can earn some extra, paid time off. Another idea is the gift of time. And here I'm not talking about giving them time off, but rather giving them something that saves them time. So for instance, you can give them the gift of a house cleaning service, or maybe you pay for some extra daycare services for them, or even pet walking services. Whatever it may be, the goal here is to give them some of their time back, which for some people is more important than getting a few extra bucks or a $10, Starbucks gift card or something. Time is money, right? Time is valuable. And there's also a concept of we are the champions. Makes me think of that old Queen song, but this is where employees with the most reviews attributed to them, or the most mentions of their name in reviews, they win a reward that shows that they are the champion. So maybe it's a front row parking spot, in the parking lot out there. Maybe it's some kind of a trophy or some gaudy championship belt like the big time World Wrestling Federation wrestlers used to have that gets passed around to each month's new winner. Something that's fun, something that's motivating to do. Maybe a trophy that doesn't even match, like a bowling trophy or something. Just have fun with it. Really incentivize your employees to do the best that they possibly can in that world-class customer experience. And so, helping your employees understand the impact of reviews on their business and on the bottom line can go a long way in achieving success. Ultimately, everything that you do will be impacted by reviews. It will make conversion rates perform better. It will make sales even easier. And your customers' return on investment will be better too. All these are things that, if all are equal, you're going to drive more business and more opportunities if you have more reviews and a better reputation than your competitors have. The key here is to find what works best for your company, what motivates your employees. Hopefully it's not just cold hard cash, but hey, if that's what works, it's still a great incentive for your employees to want to do a good job. So, of course, this is what we do for a living. We help builders, remodelers, home improvement services business grow their businesses online, grow their brand, help them generate more leads and more sales opportunities. So if you want help with any of this, just reach out. Let me know. You can call our office, 855-235-9140. Or if it's easier to just go online and schedule with us, you can go online at this link here, homeremodeler.seo.com/discovery-call. Book a time with us at your convenience, and we can just kind of dig into where you're at. No commitment. It's free. We'll kind of let you know where you're at, what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong. What are some things that can really help elevate your business? Like I said, this is what we do. We're taking companies, growing companies by the millions in annual revenue. So anyways, I just want to thank everyone that stuck around to the end. Thank you for giving your time to be on this training today. Thank you for the engagement, Patrick, Sandra, Pete, a few others out there that really engaged. Really, really appreciate you guys engaging, making this an active workshop that we can learn from. I hope this has been helpful for everyone. If you would just give me a thumbs up in chat or a thank you or something like that, just to confirm this was useful. Anything else that we can do to support you, let me know. If there's any other topics that you really want to hear some support on, just get more education on, let me know. I can put together another workshop. We've got another workshop planned for next month. We do these almost every month. But I appreciate all the thanks, the thumbs up. I really appreciate that. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate your feedback, your engagement, especially keeping this interactive and paying attention. Remember, be sure to stay tuned. Check out our next workshop next month. Not sure what we're going to do that on yet. I haven't decided what order I'm going to do the next couple workshops, but we'll definitely look forward to seeing you on the next workshop, seeing your participation and feedback. Let me know how I can help you, and I'll see you guys next month on our next training. Have a good rest of your day. Take care.